So it is day 3 or maybe day 4 of the great hospitalisation. And I'm getting a bit sick of being in hospital. Oh no! Which is, you know, understandable. I've kind of decided to do a couple of videos while I'm in hospital, because it seems like a perfect opportunity to do some blog posts. Oh no! I mean, I'm not doing anything else. So, but the thing is, I really don't have the brain power or the energy to write at the moment, because my head is just full of intrusive thoughts about being in hospital and so on and so forth. I don't want to die! And so on and so forth. So I've kind of decided to do, a couple of videos. I suppose it gives you guys an opportunity to see what my Tourette's actually looks like. These are what they call complex tics. They're like your phrases and your words. So they are sort of your standard Tourette's that everybody knows and loves. You know, I don't swear, which is lucky, really, because if I did swear, we'd be in a lot of trouble. But I do quote things. I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy. I do quote things, especially Chicken Run for some reason. It's gotten stuck in my head, and so Chicken Run and Brave. If you had the chance to change your fate, would you? So, you know, I mean, it could be worse. I don't shout rude words at people. I've never called anybody anything particularly offensive other than capitalist scum. Capitalist scum! Which is something that I shouted at a poor Conservative MP in Dorset, bless his heart. And that's possibly one of the worst things that I've ever shouted directly at a person. I mean, I have shouted some pretty rude and inappropriate things, you know, like, burn, baby, burn! I shouted that at a burning building at one point, which is very insensitive, but that's what Tourette's is like, unfortunately. It just, it's all those thoughts that you would never think to say or to act out, and they just come out, you know. I can never keep my emotions secret from anyone, which is a very interesting way to live, you know. I can't really, if you're mad at someone, you can kind of pretend that you're not mad, but if I'm mad at someone, my tics will show it. So I can do whatever I want to be like, oh no, it's fine. Oh no, it's fine, yeah, we're cool. Oh, you bastard! That's my only swearing tic. But my Tourette's will just come right out and say it. So, I don't like you! So that's always a bit frustrating, you know. If somebody upsets me, I can't pretend that they've not upset me. So I guess the best thing to do is just try not to be offended or upset, really. So anyway, so my operation has been cancelled, because, as I explained in my last video, they wanted to do my operation under sedation, which is where you're like kind of half asleep but you're still awake or whatever. The problem is that it's very hard to keep still when you have Tourette's, which is something that I did try and warn the consultant, but you know, it was their decision to give it a go. We got as far as the resuscitation room before the operation, ready for them to put me in a gown and everything, and by that point I was in such a state that they basically just couldn't do it, you know. Like, I was spinning around. I've actually smashed my head. I don't know if you can see, I've got a lovely bruise, which is where I've got a left hand tic where I basically throw my head to the left, and I managed to smash it into a wheelchair, which is just brilliant, wonderful. So what they're going to do is tomorrow they're going to do the operation under general anaesthetic. Oh, that's my phone. Bear with me. Sorry about that, guys. I just had a phone call from my father. Yeah, just checking to see how I was and see if I need anything. That's the thing about being in hospital, is you don't realise how many things you use at your house. Oh no! That you don't think to bring with you. Things like nail polish remover. So I've got my nails are polished, but when you're in hospital, the machine that reads your pulse doesn't like it. So I've got to get that. Anyway, back to my cancelled operation. So by the time I actually got to be like sedated and everything, I was just beyond ticking. You know, I was at the point where I was just throwing myself about, you know, seizuring slightly, just generally like not able. I couldn't even sit still for them to give me the sedation, you know. So they kind of said, right, this isn't going to work. So they've cancelled it, sent me back to my room. Yay! Room number 2 on Barrington Ward, if anybody wants to come and visit me. I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy. So they've cancelled it, and I'm going to have it tomorrow under general anaesthetic. So which in theory should be fine, because once you knock someone out, they can't Tourette. So, yep, and yeah, so that's on its way. It is absolutely roasting in here. Oh, it's so hot! I'm melting! So it is 30 degrees. It was 31 degrees yesterday. It is currently... Hang on, let me just find out the time for you guys. Yeah, it's currently 12:30, so it's just gone midday, and it is 32 degrees. It was 30 degrees this morning, it's now 32 degrees. So it's a bit warm. Oh no! So hot! But I've got a fan that my lovely mother brought me. Woo! So I'm cooler than all the other patients. So, you know, props to me. And I'll tell you what, I'm sweating! I'm so sweaty! Yeah, it's just absolutely boiling. And it would be just like me to miss the heat wave by being ill. You know, because I do that. I missed New Year because I was ill, so I may as well miss summer as well. So that's sort of all I wanted to tell you guys is, you know, I'm all right, and I've not had my operation yet, but I'm having it tomorrow. Oh no! So hopefully you've enjoyed listening to me tick at you for a little bit, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thanks, guys. Bye.